Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome to your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman, from here in the Mvskoke Media Studios in our capital city of the Mvskoke Creek Nation, Okmulgee. We get ready to bring you this week's episode, and it is a large one. We have lots of big time stuff to talk about. I mean large not only in amount of content we have, but the scale of what we're talking about today in Indian country. Big time issues happening with our brothers and sisters up in North Dakota, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. We will be talking today, looking into the entire issue. If you haven't been following, it's a big issue as far as a pipeline being built on some of their lands, going through there, and of course the Standing Rock Sioux tribe having concerns about that. There's been protests, there's been demonstrations. It's now reached a national level. Tribes from all over the country going up that way. We're going to talk to you a little bit more in depth about that issue, what's been going on step by step, and we'll also talk with Mvskoke Creek Nation National Council Representative Mark Randolph, who sponsored the resolution that was signed by Principal Chief James Floyd this week at Creek Nation, a resolution of support in support of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in their fight. You know, here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, we know a little bit about having to fight for our sacred rights and our sacred land, things happening on our sacred land. Of course, you cannot get past the parallels with the porch band issue and what's going on with our ceremonial spots there in Alabama. So we cover that, we talk about that with our representative. That's all coming up a little bit later on. Also, we've got some exciting things happening at Creek Nation. We have the Scholarship Foundation, which continues to raise lots of funds for our Mvskoke Creek Nation kids that want to further their education. Also, some of those that are a little bit older that want to go back and further their education. They have all seen the benefit of the Scholarship Foundation. Their biggest fundraiser of the year is the golf tournament, the Swing for Education benefit. This year, they have topped out. They have reached a new high in the third year of this golf tournament. We'll talk with Nathan Barnett about that, all the great things going on there. And of course, the big news this week, the grand opening, August 25th here this week, this past Thursday, of the Margaritaville spot there, restaurant and grand entrance of the casino opening. A lot of excitement about that. We'll have some of that next week. We didn't get it as press time this week for the show, so we'll have it next week. But all that coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take our first break. We'll be right back with Native News Today.
It's more than just an associate degree. It's a life-changing experience.
You'll see a lot of cultural features here on the campus. You'll see a symbol of the mound, which goes back to the history of Mvskoke people as being in that Mississippian time period, that mound building society. That really welcomes our students whenever they first get here.
The college in itself is beyond the building, is the people.
They're passionate, very passionate about what they teach, and it shows whenever they're teaching.
The instructors and the administration, they really believe in their students here.
After a couple classes, I began to notice that it kind of felt as if I were returning back to something that has been lost for like a long time. As I learned more about the history of my people, to discover that there were very many great people that did a lot of good things for their people, for their nations, and that those people were American Indian and Native American, it kind of brings out a sense of pride that was not really there before.
There is a future for our people.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Mvskoke Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the Turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. Give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
All right, welcome back to the program. Jason Salzman here in studio as we get started with this week's coverage. As I said in the opener, some really big news in Indian country the last several weeks, but really it's ramped up this week with the hearing in Washington and also lots of protesting going on. They don't want to be called protesters, they want to be called protectors. And that is the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in North Dakota. Their reservation there, just off the reservation, about a mile, half a mile, a pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline, under the ground going under the Missouri River. Why does that matter to the Standing Rock Sioux? Because it affects their water. The Missouri River is what takes the water to the Standing Rock Sioux reservation. So there has been protests. There have been people from all over the country come to North Dakota in support of the Standing Rock Sioux. Here is a report on that and our conversation with Creek Nation Council member Mark Randolph. On July 26, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe of North Dakota filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for violating the National Historic Preservation Act and other laws after the agency issued final permits for a massive crude oil pipeline that the tribe says threatens the safety of its water supply. The complaint filed in federal court says the Corps ignored the tribe's concerns and fast-tracked the permit process that allows the pipeline to run through ancestral lands and pass within a half mile of its current reservation. The pipeline in question would run under the Missouri River, which feeds water to the Standing Rock Sioux reservation. The Standing Rock Sioux have led a national campaign to draw attention to the issue. The Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of the Interior, and the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation have all recommended that the Corps revise its environmental assessment and open up a second public comment period. Tribal citizens have come from all over the country to make up the now nearly 4,000 people that have set up the Camp of the Sacred Stones in North Dakota as part of the Respect Our Water protest initiative. As of Monday, 87 tribes from across the U.S. have sent resolutions or letters of support, including the Mvskoke Creek Nation. And now we're joined here in studio with National Council Representative Mr. Mark Randolph, who is the sponsor of the resolution that the Mvskoke Creek Nation has now signed in support of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Mr. Randolph, thank you so much for being with us here today in the studio.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Great. Now, first off, our first question would just be, what led you to the point where you and some of your colleagues started talking about this, and then ultimately you sponsoring legislation or a resolution in support of the Standing Rock?
Well, what caught my eye was YouTube and Facebook, and I seen at one point I saw young protesters who want to be called the protectors, which I like, and I started reading up on it. And one of the reports said, talked about the human remains, and I immediately thought of Hickory Ground. And I began to wonder, and I thought, how can we help them? You know, how can we support them? How can we advocate? Because what happens to them eventually happens to us, and vice versa.
I looked at that, and we had discussed earlier as well the similarities. I think that's a great point you make, because you do see things that we've dealt with in the past. Also, you could think about maybe what this means for our future too.
Right. Yeah, you know, just the unity. I think we've been subjugated, you know, way too long, and there's strength in numbers. And I think even with Hickory Ground, I'm hoping that something along the same caliber will come around, and people will look at the principle of the matter of Hickory Ground versus, it's not against nation and nation. Yeah. It's the principle of the desecration of our ancestors. And so, when I thought about it personally, I thought it's our duty, as stewards of the land, the natural resources, and to make sure our ancestors are respected and left alone.
When you look at the resolution, it definitely is in support. Do you know of any plans that we may have to send actual aid? I've seen supplies go in there, things like that. Are there any plans in the work from Creek Nation on that?
Well, I did hear that there was some younger guys that were wanting to take some tribal vehicles and take some supplies up there. And there's been talk about possibly even doing a bill for some financial assistance. So there's some things people are talking about. I don't know. I know they came to the speaker about taking supplies, and then they were going to look at clearance through the chief. So we'll see.
Specifically with their water supply, Representative Randolph, we've seen just in our own state here how important and how involved these things can get when we're talking about water rights and whatnot. For Native American tribes, us Choctaws and now Standing Rock Sioux, mineral rights, water, the land is so important. This directly affects their water supply. Do you see that as why maybe other tribes are jumping in too?
Well, I believe so, but I believe it's also a human thing. Yeah. It's not just Native. I mean, it's going to affect, it could, when there is a spill and it poisons the water for Standing Rock, it's also going to poison the water for millions of people who are non-Native. So this is something that affects everyone. And so I'm glad to see that we have a lot of allies also,
From a council perspective, and I would just ask you your personal experience because you've been a councilman when we have dealt with the porch issue, things like that. There's always the side that's trying to, in this case, it's the pipeline company. In the case of the porch band, it's the actual tribe building the casino. So there's always that side that you have to talk to and reason with them and try to get your perspective in a way that is understood by all parties. Are you seeing some similarities here with what maybe that pipelines are doing and really how they're maybe in some cases not even consulting the tribes?
Sure. I was reminded of a native proverb this morning that says, only after the last fish has been eaten, only after the last river has been poisoned, that man will realize that money cannot be eaten. And then I saw one of the young protectors, he had a little sign and it says, "You cannot drink oil." And so I think it boils down to money, and you can't eat money and you can't drink oil.
Right. Absolutely, that's a great point. And you look at what's happening too. How would is there a resolution to this? Do you believe? I mean, do you see any kind of ending to this, where everybody gets what they want?
I would hope so. I would hope that our prayers and our sacrifices would. I know they won't go unheard from above, but here on this earth, I would hope that people would, listen with their hearts, and that they wouldn't be persuaded all the time by money, because we have to look to the futures. And our ancestors were smart enough to look 7 generations ahead. Now we're going to have to, because if we don't, there will be no 7 generations ahead. They won't have no water. They won't have no natural resources. We will have allowed this world to poison itself.
Of course, anything that happens with the National Council, you're talking to your colleagues, you're gauging interest on different things. What's been the response from other members of the council to this resolution? It seems like as a nation we're really united on this.
Right. A lot of times you got to do a lot of due diligence and some politicking behind the scenes, but this time it was really easy. Everyone seemed to be in agreement on, same page, and there was no discussion against it. I heard nothing. Everything was positive, so it was really great.
Is there anything that you foresee coming out of this to where maybe this issue helps other Native issues as far as when we're dealing with historical preservation sites and whatnot?
Sure, I think as far as becoming one voice, like I said, we've been subjugated way too long, and I think with the strength of numbers, if we were to be able to get the same support with our hickory ground, saving hickory ground, I think we would see a lot more victories. I think we've got to pull together. This is like a catalyst that I hope that it will continue, and that the tribal nations will keep coming together and showing their strength in numbers. And there's power, great power in prayer. And so, yeah, I think we have victories ahead of us.
I wonder if you've, the same way as a lot of folks when we see issues like this, wonder to yourself why certain issues become bigger maybe or more prominent than, say, our hickory ground issue. Certainly there hasn't been a New York Times story on our hickory ground issue, but there has been on this one. Do you wonder yourself why certain issues become a little louder than others?
I did wonder that, and I thought, you know, I'm not sure, you know, really how to answer that. I'm hoping that our time is coming. That's all I can really say to that.
Do you have anything else to add, sir, that you'd like everyone to know?
No, you know, I'm just, I'm encouraged and I'm inspired, and I keep following them, you know, what's going on over in Standing Rock, and I hope that something really good happens. And today, you know, a decision will be rendered whether they're going to stop the pipeline or if it's going to keep going. So hope and pray, you know, they stop it. But that's all.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time today. You also appeared on Mvskoke Radio on behalf of Mvskoke Media. We want to thank you for that as well. And giving your input here today has been very valuable to our listeners, our viewers. And thank you for the time, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. Our thanks once again to National Council Representative Mark Randolph for not only his sponsorship of the resolution and getting that worked through with the council there, but also for coming in and giving us comments not only on that issue, but some of the issues that we deal with too as Mvskoke Creek Nation. It's really relatable to Indian country as a whole, and we want to thank him for giving his insight on that and for taking some time to come here in studio. You know, as we talked about in the piece there, one of the great initiatives of this movement has been the Respect Our Water. A little play on words there. Instead of respect, it's respect, because we're talking about a res here. And the folks up there with the Respect Our Water, and you can Google that, it'll take you to their site. But there's a series of videos. There's support from different actors and actresses in Hollywood. Leonardo DiCaprio, a big supporter, and they put out videos. This is one of the videos that they produced that we're using today on a petition.
My name is Tokata Iron Eyes. I am 12 years old. I live in Fort Yates, North Dakota.
My name is Anastasia. I'm 16.
Micah, and I'm 6.
My name is Winona Ginn. I'm 14 years old. I'm from the Standing Rock Reservation, and I'm Native American.
I am Native American.
I'm Native American.
I am Native American.
I'm proud to be Native American.
My favorite thing to do is play outside, play basketball.
I like to sing.
My favorite subject is geometry.
I play the electric bass.
I often go to the river. I love to swim.
Like running off the boat docks with each other and like jumping off at the same time.
Down to the river to swim, or you would sit there, talk.
As Native Americans, we do have a very close connection with Mother Earth because she's the one that provides for us and nurtures us, and that's why we're here.
What do you think about the pipeline that's going to be built through the Missouri River half a mile away from your reservation?
It's not a very good idea.
It's a bad idea for the pipeline to be built.
It's a terrible idea to build it.
It's really messed up is what it is, because we get all our water from the Missouri River.
We depend on that water.
The water is basically like the main thing we have.
It's just like one of the first medicines that we use.
If the pipeline would break, we might drink the water and get sick.
If it breaks, then it'll spread into the Cannonball River and the Missouri River.
The oil will make the animals really sick.
It'll basically ruin our water source.
I guess they don't think we're that important.
It's like they don't care as much about us. Like our lives are more expendable than others.
I would ask them if they would put their family in my position.
They're thinking that we weren't going to be able to do anything about it, but we're going to push back.
Our voices are kind of strong, so I think it will work.
We may be small, but together we have a big voice.
They're not the ones being affected. So why should they get to make the decision?
I want people to hear what I say. I want people to listen to me and help us stop the pipeline.
I can live without money.
I can live without oil.
But I can't live without water.
Respect our water!
And just stay with us at MvskokeMedia.com and all of our social media sites. You can find ongoing, continuing coverage on this issue as it continues. Some updated information to give you today. The decision was made to basically delay a decision on the pipeline and what's going to be done there until September. I believe it was like the 1st of September sometime. So we'll have some more on that as it continues to develop, and we'll get you an exact date when we know an exact date. Moving right along, as I said earlier in the opener, the Scholarship Foundation continues to grow here at Mvskoke Creek Nation, continues to provide dollars towards higher education for our citizens, our people that want to better themselves through higher education. And one of the ways that they do that is their big fundraiser every year, the Swing for Education Benefit Golf Tournament. It's coming up this next week. I talked with Nathan Barnett about their excitement and the success.
This will be our 3rd year doing this. The first couple years, the first year was our biggest one, but we piloted, me and Dr. Kozer, we tried to figure out a way to do a fundraising for these scholarships that we offer to our Mvskoke Creek students. And what better yet than a golf tournament. Many businesses tried involved in this. They are one of our biggest supporters. We do have individuals that participate as well, but the biggest donors we have is these businesses that are either associated with Creek Nation or they're outside the Mvskoke Creek Nation in general. At this current time, we've raised about $19,000, over $19,000, coming up on $20,000. It seems to be great. Everyone's loving it. I've had several new people participating this year, but I do have some of the older ones that have participated in the past few years, and they seem to really enjoy it. This year, I believe this is going to be our biggest one ever. We went out and we've gotten bigger prizes this year, and I believe this is going to be epic this year. Last year we had about maybe a little over 10,000 at this point last year. This year we're climbing up to 20,000, and we still have another week and a half to go. Other businesses, are still contacting me, asking me if we still have slots available, and these people are just trying to come in and try to get in before the deadline date or before I fill up at my cap. Absolutely. The first year we gave out scholarships, we gave out 4 at around $2,000. Just this past fall, we gave out 36 at $28,000. So there's an incredible jump there. We've gradually went up, maybe 5 to 6 scholarships every year. But this year we did the most we've ever done. We're doing 36 at about $28,000. Well, we do get a lot of thank you letters just from the students in general, and to us it makes us feel good because that means we are serving our purpose here, working with the tribe and serving our citizens. We love to see students excel in higher education. We love to help them out. Any kind of scholarship or any other when I help them to these other departments as well. It's just great being here to serve our Mvskoke Creek citizens. Any donations that we receive, we provide a tax write-off receipt. Whether if they just want to donate maybe $100 or whatever the cost may be, they just want to help, help these students, and that's exactly what we do here. We take every dime, every penny, and we give it back out to the students.
they do want to contact me directly, they can contact me at 918-732-7754 or email me at nbarnett@mcn-nsn.gov. And they can call anytime, email me to see where the status is of how many participants I have, how many teams are left, just any information of that sort. They can print out all my documents, team registration online at www.creeknationfoundation.org. We do have the Swing for Education page on there where they can go online, look at it. As far as team registration, that's about all I have left. My sponsorships and stuff, my deadline date was last Friday. So all my logos, all my other stuff are in right at the current time. So, but if they would still want to participate as a team-wise, we are accepting teams at the current time. If you would like to donate to the Scholarship Foundation program in general, to support a scholarship or maybe to start a scholarship in your family's name or a loved one's name, we're always welcome to help you, work with you, and try to help support another student and giving another scholarship out. And with that, you can still contact me at 918-732-7754. Muddo.
All right, that's going to put a wrap on this week's episode of Native News Today. We got a lot of people to thank, but want to start off with National Council Representative Mark Randolph. Thank him for coming in studio, talking about our tie to the pipeline Standing Rock Sioux issue. And we want to also thank Nathan Barnett, the good people over at the Scholarship Foundation. They're doing great work. Dr. Pete Koser, Jennifer Killian over there. Got a big event coming up next week. Get with them, get with the Scholarship Foundation if you'd like to put your team in the tournament. You still got a week left to do that. Also, I want to thank the Respect Our Water initiative, using their video this week. Want to get a lot of people out there that want to know about it. Watch that video, sign the petition if you're moved to do so, and we really feel strongly about it. So wanted to make sure we got a full episode this week of a lot of things to cover. We can't do it right here. We only have 30 minutes on Native News Today. That's really not enough time to get all of the information out there that we're covering right now. So go to MvskokeMedia.com, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You're going to get all of our videos on there, and you'll get things in real time as we upload them. Also, you can go to our social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're also on Snapchat now. So Mvskoke Media, look for us out there, and we have a lot of giveaways and a lot of things coming up on our social media sites, so stay tuned, stay attention. Big Margaritaville opening for next week, so you don't want to miss it. Everybody have a good one. We'll see you guys next Saturday right here.